Hello, today we are gonna talk about which are the 5 hardest bosses in Elden Ring. This will include the main game and the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Number 5 is Radagon. This is the final boss of the main game. Most people don't find him that challenging, but I faced major problems with him. At the start you are able to get a few free hits in, and first he seems pretty easy, but once Radagon reaches 50% HP, he TPs around and gives you barely any attack windows. There are a lot of projectiles he throws, and delayed attacks like his grab, which deals really high damage. But as I said, it's a 2 health bar fight, cause after you kill Radagon, which will certainly cost you a lot of heals, you have to fight the Elden Beast with no checkpoints and barely any pause. The Elden Beast has a lot of large AoE attacks and a high health pool, but the visuals looks stunning. Although this fight is probably the easier part of the fight, it will still be quite difficult cause you are low on heals and you only get practice in after you defeat Radagon. Number 4 is Renala. You face her with barely any build up and no intro cutscene, but your first death will come fast. She has a lot of fast combo variations which will catch you off guard even after you learn her moveset. It will even get harder once you get her down to half HP. She now hits the T-pose and enhances one sword with fire and one with magic. Her attacks now have new variations and deal even higher damage. This boss is on every new playthrough I make a challenge, cause her moveset feels so relentless. But she isn't at the top, cause her phase 2 is a bit scripted, with the transition and the moon attack she does. On number 3 I have Mesmer. This is one of the best fights in any game I've experienced. Both cutscenes are so good, and his combos are so fun to learn. His design also hits, and there is barely anything bad about him, except that he maybe won't be that difficult on subsequent playthroughs, because his moveset is kinda restricted. In phase 1 he will start with the fire orb and has a lot of variation in his spear movement to catch your rolls. He also has Mesmer's Assault, his main ability, which will kill you fully if you don't learn how to deal with it. Phase 2 is arguably a bit easier, but he has new snake attacks, which won't be too hard to deal with, except one, but again, this phase looks just amazing. After dying, he curses his mother, which is a great end to the lore of him. Number 2, Melania. Melania was known for being the hardest boss in FromSoft history. She has 3 abilities which make her this hard, and I would say between her and Mesmer is a big difference in difficulty. First, she heals herself on hit, and because she is so agile and input reads your heals, this can be a huge problem, cause if you don't learn her moveset properly, she will heal herself from 58% HP back to full, and this can happen if you're just impatient for a brief amount of time. Then she has 2 health bars, which both are decent sized and give her over 33,000 health points. And third, she has the infamous Waterflow Dance, an attack which can kill you in seconds if not dodged properly, or heal around 20 to 30% of her HP back. This attack is so hard that there are tutorials with millions of views just on dodging this specific attack. And first, we have Radahn. Who would have guessed? He is so hard that there was a huge nerf on him, and he is still by far the most difficult boss. First phase is hard but doable. He deals a lot of damage, but it's not too extremely difficult to learn his first phase properly. It will take you around 2 to 3 hours. But problems will come in phase 2, I can promise you that. He now has Miquella on his back, which gives holy beams to his attack, and he has barely any downtime, which means he will just attack relentlessly. There are moves he still has from phase 1, but he makes them way more difficult to avoid. As an example, there is this meteorite attack, which is easy in phase 1, but in phase 2 you will have to run out of the range of his clones he sends to you and then time 3 dodges perfect to avoid the rest, which is really hard to flawlessly execute. He also has attacks which are so flashy that spam rolling seems to be the only chance to survive them. He is the hardest boss on every playthrough I face him. I spent multiple hours fighting him most of these playthroughs, even though they are bound to a challenge mostly. I think I have probably more than 800 deaths to him alone. But even though he seems unfun for some people, he's my favorite boss in all of gaming. The way he stands there in this uptime giving an aura of an insurmountable object, but when you do defeat him it feels so good. Like really good. If you're still watching, thanks for listening. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video, and I wish you a great day.